Welcome to another episode of the Daily Creative. I'm Chase Jarvis. This is the show that we started to answer your questions. If you are an aspiring professional or a professional creative, we're taking your calls. You can call in from anywhere in the world, record that message. I will listen to it and I will answer your question on the show. This drum thing is, I'm not a great drummer. No, sorry. Welcome to the show. This show is where I answer your questions. Finn, let's get into it. Whoa, beep. All right. Play that beat.
Hey, Chase.
Play that.
This is Caleb Kerr calling from Austin, Texas.
Caleb from Austin.
Kerr on Instagram. I'm a full-time freelance photographer here in Austin, specializing in commercial athletic work.
Okay.
There's a small market for this work locally, which I am pursuing, but I also want to work with national brands and clients.
Great.
Cold emailing doesn't seem like the right answer. Assuming I have the skills necessary to do the work, which I do feel confident about, my biggest challenge is getting in front of the right people while geographically distant.
Got it.
How can I reach and connect with brands based out of California, Seattle, or New York while not physically being there?
Great.
I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Great. First of all, Colby wrote down his question and then he read it. That is not required, but you hear efficient and direct his questions. That was awesome. Not required, but Caleb, right on. Sorry, there's a little bit of a kind of a noise in here. Caleb, thank you very much for your question. Caleb from Austin. So I love this question. Okay, it's, first of all, you talk about Austin like it's in the middle of nowhere. Austin is a very cool up-and-coming city, and you live there, so you know that. But just a reminder, there's a lot of people who are in these other markets that want to go there. So as I try and advise, you should be, like, whatever pool you're in right now, try and be a big fish in that pond. So try and dominate that market. Yes, there are sort of maybe some limited clients in particular, but I know of some amazing agencies in Austin. So are you on their radar? But I think the bigger question is this. Hey, if I want to be in in New York and LA, what are you doing to do that? I mean, you know how to walk down the street and knock on the door of an ad agency and walk in and show your portfolio in Austin. What is keeping you from doing that in New York and in LA? So cost, you respond to that question with this. Chase, cost, it's very expensive, and I would rather put my money into making great portfolio images. Sweet. The beautiful thing about the internet is it's pretty much global. Last time I checked, there are a couple of exceptions, but I don't think you're in North Korea, and I don't think that that's the place you want business. So you have the internet at your disposal, and you can target through email, through sharing your portfolio, through a lot of different mechanisms. You can share your work with those people. But here's what you got to do. Have you made a list of the people who are your commercial photographer, the people who hire people like you, whether that's ad agencies, magazines, customers, that like brands? Have you made that list? And maybe that's why you're writing in, because you haven't and you don't know that that's the place to start, which is totally cool. That's why we're answering this question. But it doesn't matter the market, I would recommend that you make a list of people who are likely to buy your work if you could get it in front of them. Whether it's in New York or LA, what can you do to identify those people and then get in the same room with them? You have to show them your work. You have to be able to say, this is my business right here, this is my shit, and it's good, and you can tell a great story about your work, and the best way to do that is to be in the same room. Now, I realize it could be expensive. That's what the internet's for. When you make content, when you make contact, you go to New York, you meet as many people as you can, you stay in an Airbnb, and you keep it low budge. You use points on an airline to get there, and then you stay in touch with those people using the internet. Keep sending them new work. Keep updating, whether with email or social or all those other things. Try and get them to follow you on Instagram or whatever your preferred social platform is. This is it seems big. How do I get out of Austin? But when you break it down, it's just like London and New York and LA and San Francisco. Those are just bigger Austins. So how do you do it in Austin? Same way you do it in those other cities. It takes more work, and you have to be more differentiated, and you have to be disciplined. And if you just do the things that I'm suggesting here, you'll have a massive advantage over almost everybody else, because your question, frankly, is a popular one. So good question. I hope that helped. And update me in a little bit. Leave me a message. I've been calling some people back too, so tell me what you're up to. Hope that helps. Finn, I don't want this episode to run long in the tooth, so keep the questions.
Hi, Chase.
Coming.
My name's Matt Hanchy, and I've got a quick question for a professional creative. I have been working in the TV and film industry for almost 9 years now, and I'm feeling a little bit burnt out / unfulfilled, and I'm thinking about getting into my photography more, and I'm curious if you've ever made a lateral move like that, and what are some challenges or some pitfalls to avoid?
All right, questions about burnout. Very real, but here's the thing. I don't believe that burnout, it's not really like the thing that you're doing necessarily. It's a mindset. It's a mindset about, are you pursuing something that you're very passionate about? And it's sort of like if you moved houses and you moved from LA to San Francisco, are you going to all of a sudden have this huge new burst of energy? And I don't think that's true. And if you're just looking for something to move out of, if you're running away from something rather than to something, I think you're going to be in for a surprise. So I would suggest first and foremost that it's not about, moving from the thing that you're doing to some other thing randomly because there's some market opportunity. You got to scratch your own itch. And that's a symbol, sorry. That's what do you care about? Sorry. What do you care about doing? If you're just moving from one thing to another thing, the burnout is going to travel with you. If it's not something you're especially passionate about, that you can see a whole new world of invigorated energy, then you're just sort of moving on to the next thing for the sake of moving, and that pain will follow. So first and foremost, I said I was going to say first and foremost less in one of the earlier recordings, so I'm going to stop saying that. You need to decide for yourself what's in here. The answers aren't out there. It's not about moving from one random creative discipline to another. It's what do you care about and how can you apply yourself with your soul to that thing. Now, do not tell yourself lies. It is very easy to do that if you move there, you're going to just have all this new stuff. Honestly, take more time while you're in burnout phase to think about what you care about next. What's your next move? Did you get that? What's your next thing? What's the thing that you care about? And ideally, if there are some things that you learned in your first thing, how can you translate those skills into the new thing that you're excited about such that you'd have a little bit of a head start? Don't chase market opportunity. Find out what you really love. And when you get there, make sure that is like the thing that you want to be doing. All right, anything else to add to that? Is that
recharging batteries?
What's that?
How do you recharge your batteries?
How do you recharge your? Okay, that's a great thing. So NASA is asking, how do you recharge your batteries? Which is, we're just going to keep this question and answer thing going. I find a couple of things especially valuable to recharge your batteries when you're in burnout. Among them, get completely away from the thing. Go get into adventures. I don't care if adventures are go on a long walk every day or take a hike. I like to actually travel and far distances and go off the grid a little bit such that you can have time and space for introspection, because that's the biggest, that's the hardest thing. When you're amidst chaos, that's not where great things happen. You have to go away in order to synthesize the ideas that are in here and in here. You have to put them together, and a little bit of time and space is the best medicine for that. So what can you do? While still paying your bills? I understand this is hard. No one said it was easy. But what can you do to give yourself some space? Get into adventures. And it's those adventures that fuel this, and it's this and this that actually, if you put that into your work, will give you great joy, and at the same time will differentiate you from all the other millions of folks out there trying to make a hustle buck in the same way that you are. So that is super valuable. That's it. That's my answer. I hope it was valuable for you. If you want your questions answered and you are aspiring or professional creative, I've been around the block a little bit. Been doing this for a while. I got friends that have been around the block. I got this. I got the internet at my fingertips. Ask me your question. I will answer the best that I can. And if you're from another country, you can participate too. You have to dial 802-962-4357. Again, the other country thing is put a +1 in front of that number. That's the country code here in the good US of A. Subscribe. Are you subscribed? You will get one of these things in your inbox. And while we're at it, click the little bell on YouTube. That's notifications. That means every time one of these shows drops, you get a notification. That's the best way for you to be informed. I'm just saying it would be a good thing to do. I'm trying to put this show everywhere. If you can share it, I'd appreciate it. I hope you found this valuable. I had fun doing it. Stick around. We'll see you again, probably tomorrow.